Dude. Let's do it. Dude.
I'm so ready.
Dude.
Sorry.
Ian, stop. Dude.
Yeah.
Dude. In a bass galaxy far, far away, there was a young Jedi bassist, and he was all, and you've had this, he was all about the chops. Slap licks, fast runs, fancy fills. Oh, exactly. And he trained all day and night in the temple of bass.
Okay.
Worshipping at the altar of whatever fancy bassist he'd last listened to. But then something happened. He met a master. And his master didn't look flashy. He didn't sound flashy. But when he played, the groove and the pocket was incredible. Ian.
Yes.
That young Jedi was me.
It was you.
It was me. And today I am going to out myself. I want to talk about the error of my early ways. And embarrassingly, I can't even believe I'm going to do this. I don't know if I've done this before. Embarrassingly, I'm going to talk about a time in my life when I listened to players like Pino Palladino or Michael League or Jonathan Maron.
Yes.
And I dismissed them and thought they were boring. I was like, oh, God. People used to mention them. I'd be like, Emperor's New Clothes, dudes. I'm like, what are they talking about? Please tell me, in your past, have you had a similar experience? Did it happen to you?
Are you asking me or are you asking the audience
I'm
at
asking
large?
you. Did this happen to you?
Of course, yes. Because for me, like you, I wanted to be a bass hero. We came up in the greatest era.
Oh,
no
the 90s,
question.
dude, the 90s. Yes. The era of the bass hero.
It's so true.
Yeah.
And I was like, how long's Victor Wooten been playing? Okay, that's like 25 more years than I've been playing.
Oh my God.
I
used to do that. Yeah, you'd like work out how many years they've been playing. Okay, he's been playing about 10 years. Okay, that's okay. Yeah. I don't need to feel too bad. I've got a chance.
Yes, yeah. Oh man, yeah. I was way more concerned, with going. Then playing a functional bass line. I feel you. I bet too, in the comments, if you resonate with this, was there a time where you were like, oh, simple, tasteful, song-based bass players, boring, and you just wanted to feel the shred, the slap, the tap? If that's you, give us a shout in the comments. Let us know your story on that.
It can distort it can really distort what you're drawn to as a bass player.
Yes.
And the important thing is it can distort what you want to learn as well. And that is really, it can be so like negative to your journey as a bass player, because in a way, it draws you in the wrong direction, right? Reflecting on myself, I just dismissed all of these incredible bass players. So I'd be like, literally, these incredible masters of the art. And I was drawn like a fly to one of those, one of those sort of like really bright lights that they have in sort of like
a zapper, bug zapper?
Yeah, a bug zapper they have in sort of like, we call them greasy spoon restaurants over here.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, of course.
I mean, I was a fly, and I was just anything flash.
Yeah.
I was drawn to it. Anything that wasn't flash, I just didn't give two craps about. And it had a really impactful, in a bad way, impactful experience. A bad impact or bad. What am I trying to say here? It affected my bass playing in such a negative way because I was focused on all of the wrong stuff. So I talk about learning the right stuff at the right time. Yeah. Right. And some people, you can be focused on the right stuff at the wrong time as well. I was focused on the wrong stuff at the wrong time.
Double whammy.
Double whammy. And listen, I'm not taking away anything from all of those incredible bass players who are incredibly proficient at ripping around the fingerboard. But the majority of those individuals that can rip also have this incredible musical foundation. This they understand all of that stuff that you need to understand, and they've done the work. Like when you listen to Victor Wooten rip, right? Don't fool yourself in that he's done all of the homework. He's listened to all of the Jameson bass lines. He's nerded out and done all of that work. And the easy thing to do is just kind of step over all of that work. Right. Just step over it.
I just want the result. I just want all the trickery.
I'm gonna go.
Right?
Yeah, you talked about it last week when we did when in that episode we were talking about functional harmony, music theory, and you went to that lesson from Brian Bromberg, and you went because you wanted to learn the two-handed tapping. You wanted to step over and go straight to the flash.
Yes.
And Brian was like, no.
Brian said no. And I didn't even know that it was underpinned by all of this harmony. That the stuff he was playing just wasn't random. I just thought it was random sick shit to play on the bass, you know?
Yeah.
And he was like, no, this is all chord voicings that I'm playing, you know? And even though it's fast, it's still underpinned by all this knowledge. And he gave me a chord lesson. And I came out of there being like, oh, I didn't learn the trick. And then later, I was very grateful. But I had no idea, actually, at that time, that there was a system or that it was underpinned by anything. I just wanted to go and have people go, wow.
Exactly. Now, you've got a great Diana Krall story as well, that kind of like, because I'd love to talk about both of our moments in time where we were like, oh, for you, you've got a story. I've definitely got a moment in time where I was like, oh, interesting. In fact, I've got one of the tracks that made that happen that I wanted to share with everybody today. But just before we do that, I wanted to give everybody a heads up that we've actually got a free boot camp going on this week. Okay, it's the 5-day bass breakthrough boot camp. That's a mouthful, isn't it? The 5-day bass breakthrough boot camp.
Love the alliteration.
Yeah, it's completely free to come and be a part of it. It's completely free. It is live. Okay, it's completely live. I'm going to go live. Ian's going live. It's this week. We're also going to be doing giveaways on each of the live streams as well.
Yes.
And here it is. It's important that you understand that it's not here on YouTube. It's not on the Scott's Bass Lessons website either. It's on none of them. You've got to turn up live to be a part of it. And the times we've got, go check it out on bassbreakthrough.com. So bassbreakthrough.com. You'll be able to check out the times. We've tried to get these times so they're at a decent time for pretty much everybody in the world, okay, depending on where you are. You know, we've tried to be kind to everybody. Sorry, people in LA, you might have to get up a little early with your bass, maybe like 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the morning. But hey, if you want to level up your bass playing, I'm sure that you're going to be there. So bassbreakthrough.com. And what we're going to be really trying to do is change a lot of I'm like a big believer of half of the battle is kind of like seeing the world through a different lens. Right. And once you see and have that change in mindset, everything will become a lot clearer. So we're going to be working on mindset stuff, not kind of like woo-woo mindset stuff, but visualizing things in a different way, especially on the bass. But then also we're going to be getting really practical as well. We're going to be learning grooves together. I'm going to be giving you exercises, and we're going to be going through this entire experience together. And there's going to be a Ian Martin Allison bassline challenge as well. On one of the streams. We're going to be challenging Ian to play in the style of different famous bass players. And I want you guys to throw him on the hot coals. You're going to be live doing this in real time. You're going to be challenging him to do like, hey, play like this. We're going to give him a specific chord sequence. If you want him to try and play like Flea, yes, let's go for it. Geddy Lee, let's go. You name it, we're going to be there live for you. So if you do want to be a part of that, just go to bassbreakthrough.com. It is starting this week. In fact, the first one might be today. If it is, we'd love to see you live. Don't worry if not, we'll send you a replay for that one, but we will love to see you there for the second and the third stream as well. And again, it's not here on YouTube. Be there or be square. Now.
Oh, yeah. Hey, and hold on. It's only at Bass Breakthrough. Only at bassbreakthrough.com. And listen, take this opportunity to actually commit to something for these 5 days and level yourself up. Take the opportunity. Because if you actually go through with it, if you're like, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go through this process. You will emerge a better bass player. And how cool is that?
100%.
Yeah, it's
5
totally
days.
free.
5 days.
That's nothing. If you commit to these 5 days, you'll notice an increase in your playing. You'll feel more connected to the instrument, to your trajectory through music. So join us. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah, absolutely. Bassbreakthrough.com. And we're going to be doing giveaways on them live streams as well. You've got to be there, though, for the live streams.
It's free gear.
Yeah.
Come on.
Now, tell us this story with Diana Krall, dude. Because unfortunately for you, I'm not going to spoil it for everybody, but should I say, unfortunately for me, you kind of had this realization earlier on than I did, right? For you were at an acceptable age. For me, I was still getting drawn to that sort of like, the hyper flash stuff way later on. But yeah, tell us this story.
For sure. And I don't want it to seem like, oh, I learned this so early and then it was perfect. But the seed was planted for me really early. And then I'm still trying to unpack what it all meant. But basically, my parents used to take me to this jazz festival in Moscow, Idaho. It was the Lionel Hampton School of Music. And there would be concerts in the evening, master classes during the day. And it was insane. I mean, I got to see Dizzy Gillespie before he passed. Like the Marsalis brothers, right? Got to see Elvin Jones. I mean, it was unbelievable. Like Joe Lovano on sax. Like heavy, heavy players. And Diana Krall was young and upcoming Canadian. If you don't know, Canadian singer-songwriter, jazz vocalist, and pianist, an absolute monster. And when I saw her,
wife of,
thank you, the coolest musical couple ever. Don't tell me about Beyonce and Jay-Z. I don't want to hear about that. I want to hear about Diana Krall and Elvis Costello.
Yes, dude.
What? That is the sickest. Like, it's the best.
Yeah,
coolest music couple of all time. And I didn't know. This was obviously before she was married to Elvis, but. I didn't know who she was. I just knew that my parents were dragging me to a piano master class. Boring, dude, boring. Yeah. And so I was like, ugh. And she came out, and she was probably in her 20s at that time. So she was up and coming, and she was striking to see. First of all, I had been seeing all of these old people playing jazz music. Okay. And this was a young person, right? She's beautiful. She comes out. I'm like, what? She sits down at the piano and starts to sing and play. And I am like paying attention. Right? You know what I'm saying?
She's killing. Yeah.
She's killing. And she's young. Right. And I'm like, whoa. I was like, oh, so it's not just old people. So that was a big one for me. Like the generational thing. I was like, whoa. Yeah. It was so cool to see her do it. And so now I'm paying attention, listening, and she played a few of her tunes. It was incredible. And then Q&A. And the first question she gets asked is, hey, who's your favorite bass player to play with? And she thinks about it not too long and says, it would be Ray Brown. And everybody goes, because Ray Brown, of course, is a legend, upright bass player, married to Ella Fitzgerald for a time, played on 8 gazillion records, is the GOAT.
He's
right?
the GOAT upright player. Yeah.
Yes, he is. Yes. Or at least it could be argued that he's on the Mount Rushmore, right?
Yeah.
Of jazz legend bass players.
Yeah.
And she says his name, everybody goes, and then the follow-up question is, why? And she goes, She thinks about that one a little longer. And then I'll never forget this moment for as long as I live. She said, because when he's on the gig with me, I go, and she lets out this sigh that is patient and takes a long time. And the room is pin drop quiet. And then everybody kind of chuckles, and she's like, and then she goes on to describe what that means. And it had a real impact on me. She said, he knows every standard. He could play. It doesn't matter if I need to change the key because my voice is feeling weird. If I make a mistake, he has me. He makes my mistakes sound like incredible, musical moments. He knows how to move around me. His feel is incredible. His sound is incredible. She said, you know what? Even when he walks into the room, It's like what he wears, how he carries himself, how he's kind, how he responds to the crew, how he addresses me and the rest of the band. She's like, it's everything. I just feel safe when I'm with Ray. And dude, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it right now. I thought to myself, how could I make somebody do that? So instead of me thinking of like, oh, I want that for me because I want to be a flashy bass player and I want somebody to support me, I kind of went the other way and thought, how could I make an artist like this talented, beautiful, like majestic creature like Diana Krall? Like, how can I make, how could I ever make somebody feel that way?
Yeah.
You know? And it was this real thing that was planted, and it has, my whole career has been trying to figure out what that means, you know? And I'm so happy I was there in the room for the like boring jazz masterclass that turned out to be like one of the most important,
like massively life-changing.
Massively life-changing about being a side musician. You know, she was essentially talking about his role in support and in service of her and her music. And I think as a bass player, you don't always, you know, if you're doing your own thing, then of course you're an artist. But most of the time as bass players, we are asked to serve. We are in a service industry with the role of our instrument for the very most part. And I think to understand what that means, even beyond just playing root notes and laying back, like, what does it all mean? Right?
Yeah.
And that was the beginning of me trying to figure that out and understand that.
It's so interesting, isn't it? How it changes over time. For you, was it like a crunching of the gears? Was there a clear before and after, or was it like a slow kind of burn?
I think I just kept thinking about it. Like in the moment, I didn't realize, with my long hair, Metallica t-shirt, and black painted fingernails, in the moment, I didn't realize, oh, this is life-changing. But I kept thinking about what she said. And I kept thinking about like, ooh, what do other people want of me as a bassist? Yeah, and is that going to actually prove successful? Because I loved songs. I mean, I loved the shred, but I also loved hearing a great song with a supportive bass line, even though, you know, maybe I wasn't boggled by the bass line, but I loved pop music, honestly, and like rock music as a kid. Hearing that, I thought, oh, that might be the key. That thing might be the key to doing this for a really long time. You know,
that's so interesting. For me, it wasn't. For me, it was actually
I'd love to know.
There was like a
like a wheel jerk.
It was a wheel jerk moment. It was like as I said, I'll play one of the tracks. It was from a specific album. There was an album that changed my life in a huge way, and a specific bass player, which was interestingly one of the bass players which I completely dismissed, and I was like,
yeah, sure,
you know what I mean, like whatever. I mean, like where's the freaking slapping? Where's the 2-5-1 you know tritone substitutions, dude? Where are they?
Sure.
And for me, I actually, like, after this moment, I went back. I had to sort of like retrospectively go back and think, like, what is that? Like, I knew what the individual was that was kind of like crazy and shredding and doing all of that thing, but I didn't know what to call this new individual. It was like, oh, there's a new kind of like species of bass player that I've been completely ignoring, and I need to kind of like frame it for myself. And back in the day, I started calling it like a full stack bass player. And I even used the term full stack musician. Some of you will have taken the course, the Full Stack Bassist program that we released last year. The name for that, if anybody has gone through the Full Stack Bassist program or is potentially still enrolled in that and going through it right now, that's where the name came from. Because
I didn't even know that.
That's where the name came. I retrospectively I was like, who is this group of individuals that I've been like just ignoring? I was like, oh, these are like full stack bassists. They're people that have a very particular set of skills. God, I feel like Liam Neeson, in the I have a particular set of skills that I'm going to hunt you down. Shout out to Liam Neeson. What is that film called?
And support your track.
Yeah.
From Taken.
Oh my God, Taken. Oh, what a wild film. Yeah. And this group of musicians that I just ignored had this particular set of skills, and it was like style, versatility. All of them were kind of like real chameleons. They all served the song incredibly, and I was like, serving the song's a thing. They all had incredible groove and pocket above everything else. Actually, all of them had this incredible groove and pocket. They all had taste, like everything. That's another thing that really, this group of musicians, like when they played a bass fill, it wasn't about the gymnastics of the fill. It wasn't about, kind of like, fitting in the tritone substitution, right?
Right.
I am guilty. It was actually about, it was always incredibly tasty. It was always musically mature. They obviously had incredible ears to be able to do that. And then also alongside that, they obviously had the harmonic chops as well to be able to fit all of these things together. And for me, it was just, it gave me a moment in time to go back and enjoy all of them people, all of those incredible musicians that I just didn't kind of like gravitate to when I was younger. And it was actually, and here's the weird thing, I'm still doing it now.
Sure.
I'm still doing it. There are some key, like Ray Brown would be in that group. I listened to upright players as well. Another huge bass player who I just sort of like zoomed past. I was like, Emperor's New Clothes, see you later. I'm going to... was James Jamerson. I can remember listening to James Jamerson and be like, what is the fuss about? I'm like...
Flubby, I'm like, tone and...
if it wasn't that, I was like, I'm passing on by, which is so stupid. And shout out to the individuals that didn't do that, because to my earlier point of Victor Wooten not doing that, another person, as I'm playing that jumps to mind is John Patitucci. I've had some incredible conversations with John, and what is incredibly, instantly evident when you have a conversation with John is, yes, he has all of the chops. He's got chops for days, but he has also got this incredibly deep and just awesome depth to his musical education, and knows all of the Chuck Rainey lines, knows all of the Babbitt lines, knows all of the James. Yeah, and you can hear it in his playing.
Yeah, you can.
You can hear it in his playing. Yeah, so it just... Shout out to all of them people that I stupidly ignored. I do apologize. and Ian mentioned it earlier as well. In the comments, please let us know if you can resonate with this. Maybe you've been all about the chops and you're going through an experience listening to this and you might be thinking, oh, oops. But also, maybe you've been on the same journey as Ian and I. You've been through that, and then you've gone back and listened and kind of found out all of these incredible players.
And when you're doing that, be honest. And then everybody in the comments, be kind. I know sometimes it's not the easiest place to be kind, but I do have faith in the bass community. If you drop that name down there of someone that you didn't understand and maybe came back to
that's
later.
A great idea, actually, dude.
Yes.
Yeah. Let us know. Name. Who did you sleep on? Who was the... Yep. Or not even sleep on, which group of people did you sleep on that you just passed on by? You that little fly.
Maybe someone that you even, that you actively disliked. Maybe you even said it. Maybe you were, and I'll go, and I've talked about this before, but I can't believe it, but it's true. Paul McCartney was me, because I did not grow up listening to the Beatles. I didn't get it. It sounded like carnival music. I'd listen to stuff on the White Album and think, when is someone going to pop out and say, just kidding? And that's not cool. That is not cool to not like Paul McCartney. I came to it later. Yeah. Came to it way later. And so absolutely, I think everybody has
He's
that.
just a great example of a full stack musician as well.
He is.
Like, listen to the songs he played. Not only is he an incredible bass player with incredibly inventive lines, but just listen to how he writes songs.
I know. It's
like,
unreal.
I still listen to them Beatles songs, and just the way the harmony moves and the chords that they're using together, it's really, really intentional and clever and humorous as well. The harmony they use, like those, they were just incredible. Again, shout out to all the full stack musicians out there that I ignored. I'm sorry. I'm swimming around in guilt.
I know. And it's a really important lesson too, that maybe you're watching this and you're still doing it. Maybe there's somebody that you're like, there is no, like, what is the deal? If you can take a step back from your preferences, from your lens, from what you grew up loving, and think, what about this am I missing? If you can ask that question, what am I missing here? Or like, why would a group of people love this? Like, that helps you understand and look at it a little more objectively versus like, I don't like this style of music and this bass player always plays that style or whatever it is. I made a pitch hard in a bass hang at SBL recently of like, you need to look, if you endeavor to play music, you need to look at all of these references and artists and bass players as text, as input information, not as like, well, this is cool and this sucks. I think you can have likes and dislikes, but even your dislikes, I think it's really important to like understand why they're important, how they fit, right? And it comes down to musical maturity, right?
100%.
And the ability to do that. It's so important to understand the lens that you view it and how to bring in stuff that you don't maybe absolutely love.
Yeah. To your point, as you were saying that earlier point of like, maybe when I was saying, has this happened to you? Let us know who you slept on, who you just sort of like passed on by. And you said, maybe you're there right now. Maybe you have been passing all these people. This is the thing that I'm just going to put it out there. I don't know. Maybe it's one of those things where when it happens, and you've got no control. You will have to, again, let us know in the comments. Has this made you feel like you can go back? Has it given you some kind of, like we've planted a seed, or maybe we can only speak to our realities and it can only happen to you when you're ready for it to happen. You know what I mean? Like, I actually don't know the answer to that. But what I do know is that we've got 3 individuals to show you right now, and we thought it'd be fun to take some people from our past that in the past I would have just stepped over and and we're going to listen to these clips, and I'm going to shout out exactly what I would have missed, right?
I love it.
Yeah, what I would have missed. And this first track is actually Pino Palladino playing with John Mayer. And it is the track that from the album. It was the Mayer and Palladino Steve Jordan album Trio Live, John Mayer Trio Live. That was the moment in the car. That sort of like, it's never going to be the same again. I've been making all of these big errors. This was one of those tracks. Just going to play it. And we can chat away, but my word, it's just so good. Check this out.
Yes.
I got half a smile and zero shade.
Pino Cam, baby.
Oh.
I got a reflection with a different name. Got a brand new blues that I can't explain.
That unison thing?
Who did you think I was?
Oh. Beautiful, tasty fill.
Yes, truly.
I'm making my mind and change it back again. I'm shifting road.
Oh.
Who did you think I was?
I think there's another beautiful one coming up.
You got my number, but I always knew the score. Who did you think I was?
Here we go.
Woo!
Yeah, that fill is incredible.
But check this out. You might be thinking, well, Scott, yeah, like he's playing licks and stuff like that. I'm telling you, I didn't care. I would have been like, I would have just, well, it's not flat. It's not like it's not up here. It's not soloing. I'm
Sure.
out. I didn't respect
Right.
or value that this was just incredible bass playing that
Yeah.
was just beautifully tasty, was like, you know, he's pushing himself forward, but
Yeah.
he's also playing for the song, and
Right.
harmonically he's doing nothing that sort of like gets in the way of anything. That is incredibly hard to do. Like
It's-
doing what
yes.
and I was just so musically immature that I didn't get it. I just couldn't see it. And this was one of the tracks that I was listening to that one day. Not like 5 minutes from here, actually 5 minutes in my
Incredible.
in the first house that I bought with my girlfriend at the time, now my wife. We bought that house. I was in there. It was in the room. The stereo was in the room that all of my first SBL videos
Oh, cool.
got filmed in.
No way. That's cool.
And check
Yeah.
it out. I was like coming up to like mid to late 20s.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I'd been playing for over a decade professionally, and I just
Right.
ignored all of
And you're
this.
like, Pino.
And it had, I think, an incredibly negative effect on my playing.
Hmm.
Incredibly, and the gigs I was doing a negative effect because I just was so musically immature to see the writing on the wall, the art that Pino was doing, which is what it is, was just impeccable. It was impeccable. Yeah.
And we've talked about this before with Pino, but he has incredible musical knowledge
Yeah.
and pocket and time. And so he can play busy. He can deliver ideas. He can even make fills. And it never feels like it's getting in the way. It always feels like it's in support and it's pushing. He does a thing, like you said, it's so hard to balance it, where like his ideas not only support, but they make things better.
Yeah.
And that's really difficult as a side musician to like, well, okay, side musicians are supposed to play for the song. Well, sometimes that can be, the support can be kind of boring, or it can just be not something you're drawn to. But Pino has this way of, even when he's supporting, you're kind of like, woo, without this song wouldn't be as compelling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's wild.
It is incredibly hard to do. It's incredibly hard to play because, like, on some tracks, Pino is so busy. He is crazy busy. And there's only a few bass players that I can point to where I can be like, oh, they can actually play incredibly busy, but not getting in the way of anything.
Yeah.
It is like James Jamerson was another one of those sort of like weird individuals that could do that.
Yeah.
It's a true art form. And I think, again, it's more subtle. You don't get it. As an immature musician, you can only see, it's like looking at a picture, right, and only seeing the bright colors. You can see all of these bright colors because you're just not mature enough yet to see all of the shades, the depth,
the grays,
all of that. You can only see the neon stuff, right?
It's
got to be neon and loud and in your face. Otherwise, I'm ignoring it. Yeah, it's got to be magenta. You know? So
right.
That's why I wanted to share this clip. Now, the next clip I want to show is it's actually a bass player called Travis Carlton.
I love that you're going to do this.
Yeah, dude. Travis Carlton, son of, Larry Carlton.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Right. Check it out. Larry Carlton, legendary guitar player. Well, Travis Carlton's his son. He's a monster bassist. And the reason why I wanted to share this clip is this is Travis soloing. Now, my older self, again, would have just stepped on right over this man. And I mean, like, ain't no sort of like, it's just like, what are we doing here? Like, I mean, like, where's the shred? Where's the chops?
Yeah.
And what Travis does here is play this incredible solo, which is just in the pocket and tasty. Next level. Check this out. It's beautiful. Just the pocket.
Jeez.
Oh, yeah.
So cool.
Just beautiful language as well.
But not crazy, like harmonically dense.
No.
He's not trying to prove his jazz vocabulary, for
I've got
instance.
yeah, exactly.
Right,
Yeah.
you know?
Carry on drums. Oh,
I love how he's stepping up the effects as well. Like he just added an octave there.
yeah.
Almost a theme there.
Yeah.
Hey!
Come on.
That was great. I mean,
You know what I
man,
mean?
yeah, and you know me, I don't always love a bass solo. I don't always love it, but I was engaged for that whole thing,
Dude, I would have listened to that and
cool.
thought, well, yeah, he knows his minor pentatonic.
You would have judged him about the only scale he used.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
right,
And
and overlooked all the other stuff.
yeah, if I could just go back and give myself a bigger slap around the chops, that's why I'm pausing. It's like kind of like I'm so angry. I've sat with that solo for the last 2 years listening to. I think I probably listen to this solo like every month. How many views on this? It's 41,000. I'm probably 1,000 of them views. Like, I have listened because I just like listen to. Yeah, I just like listen to it and I'm just like, how do I do that? How do I just not play shit? Just random, just. I mean, like, how do I not do that and actually play beautifully tasty, connected speaking? Like, I think there's a real art in it. And to say it out loud, and I wouldn't have seen that, wouldn't have heard it when I was younger. Would have just disregarded it. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Shame on me.
Well, and I wonder too if part of it is identity, right? You're building your identity and you recognize the scale he's using, and then you're thinking, well, I'd use more scales than that.
Exactly.
So right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in the previous example with Pino, I was going to say for me, the disregard sometimes would come with tone. So when I would hear Jamerson or I would hear Pino with Mayer, if it wasn't bright or it wasn't, you know what I mean? Like I had a really, I struggled. And we've talked about this thing of like struggling with the tone of the P bass, struggling to let it in because we came up in the era of the bass hero.
Yeah.
Right? And got so excited about Flea and Victor. And so, you know, when I would hear classic Jamerson lines or like Pino with Mayer or D'Angelo, when I would hear that sound, it took me a long time to understand why that sound is being used. I'm like, these dudes need to change their strings. Like, what's happening? You know?
God, I
like,
used to hate the sound of
Jamerson-
P-bass so much. God.
Yeah, right. I did too.
Yeah.
And you know, you'd be like, oh, these guys just don't know. They must just not know or not care. And they're using these dead strings. But it was because we didn't. I'm including myself here. I didn't understand that, sometimes like removing that high end, playing flats on a P bass, it actually is a platform for the band to sound great.
Yeah.
Right? It's a platform for Mayer's sound. Can you imagine if Pino were playing that line that we watched on that trio tune on a bright jazz bass with rounds? Or if he was slapping that line? I mean, it would be so different and it wouldn't be as good.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't be propelling the song in the same way and leaving the space for other people. So for me, sometimes it was about the sound I heard. And I was like, ugh, so dark and it sounds like there's peanut butter all over those strings. And now I'm like, give me the peanut butter on the strings. You know?
Do you want to share that JMJ track?
Oh man, yeah. There's a great track from Justin Meldal-Johnsen that I just want to show because in another zone, right? So we've heard Pino, we've heard Travis playing a solo. We're gonna now take it back to 2008. Trent Reznor, you know, this is a rehearsal tape. Josh Freese on drums. This is so cool, and there's just something about the way that JMJ plays here that I would have missed. You know, I would have thought, oh, it's just some rock and roll stuff. But JMJ to me, Justin Meldal-Johnsen, is another great example of like a full stack bassist. He's playing for the song. He's dialing sounds for the song. He's experimenting. He rides the line. He is one of those guys that rides the line of being supportive and creative better than almost anybody. I mean, he's absolutely incredible. So check this out. This is so fun to see.
Oh, yeah. Josh Freese, right? Yeah.
And that guitar sound. That's Robin Fink. And then listen to when JMJ comes in.
Oh.
And then he leaves this gap. First time listen to the gap here.
Yeah.
And then he drops back in, completes the riff. Then listen to this.
Oh my God, that sounds incredible.
Back to the riff. Now it starts to move with the chords. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Out.
So good. This is a great example. Another great example of I would have just passed this by and not really understood because of musical immaturity, like the sort of like the brilliance that's happening. We were talking about this yesterday. Can you remember we were talking about punk bass lines and and like I used Nirvana as an example. I know Nirvana's grunge, but it's a great example. Hey, it's easy to learn a Nirvana bass line, but when you're playing it, it's so easy to make it sound lame.
Yes.
Make it, when I play it, it just sounds, I have to be intentional about making it sound authentic to grunge. Not like Mr. Session Guy playing a grunge bass line. Exactly. Right.
Yes.
And JMJ just that great, just when he's playing that, it's nasty. It doesn't sound like, do you know what I mean? Like it's so intentional and it's so easy to miss the art that makes that real.
For sure. And how he would lay out that first time and out. Finishes it. Oh, and then down low pedaling. Like he has this arc of that whole thing laid out. He knows exactly what he's going to do. And he's thought about it and he's played it. And those rests are so intentional. And it is easy just to think of like a rock bass player, a low sling. I mean, also, I feel like on this, he's playing it a little lower. He's slinging a little lower than normal. You know what I mean? He understands the gig. He understands that he can't show up with a bass here.
Yeah.
That bass needs to be here, dude. You know what I mean?
He gets it.
And it's cool. Yeah. He gets it. He understands the gig. He has the sound. He is just really a lovely player and so versatile in so many styles. But that tune, that performance, I think really, if you saw that, you'd think, ooh, this is a really great rock bass player. Because he tricks you with his chameleon nature. You think, oh, this dude is full on rock and roll. And then you hear him play with Beck, or you hear him play with I'm a Robot, or you hear him play with St. Vincent. With a Hofner, right? And you go, oh, there's many facets to this dude. You hear him play with Paramore, M83. It's crazy. So many lanes of JMJ.
It's very interesting, isn't it? Because the reality is that when you get it's important because it is easy to be like that fly that gets drawn to the flash. Like, look at everybody on Instagram with like lots of followers, right? Everybody jokes about the Instagram musicians are generally, it's the people that play a lot of notes, right? Or play fancy stuff. And the interesting thing here is that what I'm saying is, well, number one, I wish I could go back and, give myself a slap around the chops because I robbed myself of just this incredible foundation that I should have been building. Like I mentioned, John Patitucci did, like Victor Wooten has, they had that down. And for me, I had to reverse engineer. I was like mid-20s to coming up to 30 when I had this realization. And I've been really over the last now nearly 17. Listen, I've been playing for a long damn time, right? So I've been, I've been going back over the last 17 years and really just getting into the James Jamesons, the Chuck Rainey's, the Pino Palladinos, the Bob Babbitts, the Carol Kays, the legends, because there's so much there to be learned. But the important thing to take from this is, right, that becoming a bassist that embodies these attributes that we talked about, the full stack musician, the important thing here is that becoming a bassist that embodies these things isn't a pipe dream.
That's right.
Yeah. It's not like we're aiming to be this virtuosic freak show. That's true. And that's no sort of like knock against the freak shows out there. I love freaks, right? I love a good freak, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But it isn't a pipe dream to become a bassist that embodies these kind of like full stack attributes. Yes. The challenge can be that you get lost and you're swimming around in like a sea of content, right?
Absolutely.
So, and unfortunately, that means that you can be working on the right stuff, but at the wrong time. Or another challenge can be you're being hoodwinked and drawn to the flash, and there should be flash in the world. They're awesome. I love to do that flash stuff. But the downside of it is that it can draw you away from working on the right stuff at the right time, stuff at the right time, right? And then the other challenge is not knowing how it all fits together. We talked about that last week in the last video when we were talking about you and Brian Bromberg, and I was using that analogy of learning all of these sort of like little pieces. It could be a lick here, a flash thing here, learning all of the little pieces, and they're like jigsaw pieces sat in front of you on the desk, and you've just got this pile of jigsaw pieces, but you can't see the box cover,
right?
So you're like, how do I put all of these things together? So it's
like, well, I guess I'll just try forever.
Exactly. And it's sort of like the more sort of like little things that you find, the more it can, more little jigsaw pieces you throw into the pile, the more it becomes a challenge. So the more kind of sort of like little pieces you like learn in isolation kind of screws you over. So if you didn't check out last week's video that we talked about, it was kind of focused on, what was the title of that, Ian?
I took a lesson from a pro bassist.
Oh, I took a bass player from a legend.
Yes.
And you were disappointed. If you've not listened to that, highly recommend going to listen to that because it really talks to a lot of this stuff as well. And again, I just wish I hadn't done that. I wish I hadn't stepped over all of this incredible learning and bass playing that I could have been focusing on. So yeah, don't be like me. Save yourself the trouble and just do it first time round, right? Do it first time round. And go on. What are you saying?
Well, the good news is it's never too late. I mean, truly.
Absolutely.
It's never too late, right? So even if you're in that zone now of going, gosh, you know what? I'm playing in some stuff and I don't have the opportunities I want. I wonder if I'm supporting. I wonder if I'm doing my role as a bassist well enough. Could I be better? Am I focused on the right things? Am I focused on the wrong things? The ship has not sailed. The ship has not sailed for anybody. You can always go, you know what? I think I need to get better at this. No matter how old you are, no matter where you are in your trajectory in music, and it will only make you better. It will only make you better.
Exactly.
It will not rob you of like any kind of individuality that you have. It will only add to your skill set and probably make you a more desirable team member, band member, co-collaborator, right? It'll make you more desirable to play with. And that's huge. It's huge.
It absolutely is. We should all be aiming to be that full stack musician. All of them, the legends, the John Patitucci's, the Victor Wootens that have all of the chops as well. They're all full stack bassists, right? They can do that. You can, once you've got that layer down, then you can choose to grow into whichever direction you want. We were having a conversation last night, weren't we? Your morning, my evening, talking about getting that layer down, and then it gives you the optionality of going in whatever direction you want to go in. But it's so important. Two things I need to mention before anybody goes. Bass, what's it called? Bassbreakthrough.com. So we're doing this 5-day bass breakthrough boot camp. Is happening this week. Now it's happening now, right?
Come on.
One of them could be going on today. So if you go to bassbreakthrough.com, you can sign up. It's completely free. Come with us on this journey for the next 5 days. We're going to be going live. Ian's going to be there. I'm going to be there. It's not here on YouTube. It's not on the website. It's only at bassbreakthrough.com. We're going to be really, really trying to give you an up level with your bass playing over the next week. And it's going to be a ton of fun. And we're giving away some gear as well on them live streams. So definitely come along to bassbreakthrough.com. And also, just a shout to let you know that we've got, when I was talking about the full stack bassist and I was telling the story about where the name came from, when I had to retrospectively look back and what is this group of bass players and musicians that I've been ignoring all my life? And what are they? And it was the full stack musicians, it was the full stack bassists, right? We've got a program many of you will have been through or currently going through the full stack bassist. It is opening for enrollment next week. So please keep a lookout for it. We're only open enrollment for 7 days. 7 days. Okay. That's it for this year. And then it's gone. 7 days. So if any of this stuff vibed with you and you're feeling inspired and you're thinking about taking the next level, taking your bass playing to that next level, and you want to take the next step with us, check out the Full Stack Bassist. It's coming next week and it's only going to be open for 7 days. And then 7 days tight.
That's tight.
Keeping that enrollment tight. And it's not like an online, like it is an online program, but just to be explicit and transparent about it, it's not like just an online course. It's a full 12-month program. You get assignments every single month, like homework. It's the full thing. And it's really for those individuals that are truly serious about getting, really stepping up as musicians. And it's a pretty cool program. It's more than a pretty cool program. It's the only thing out there like it. Every single week we do live stuff as well. We've got live practice sessions, so you can get on a call and actually practice with somebody. Because let me just say it, right? If you needed just more information, it would be easy, because there's all of the information in the world. Who needs more information?
All of it's out there.
Listen,
you can just stick it into Google.
Exactly. Go to Google, right? Go to YouTube. All of the information and more is available to us, right?
Yes.
It's about the implementation of the information.
Ooh, baby.
It's about,
once again, for the people in the back, Scott Devine, what's it about?
It's about the implementation of the information.
Yes, sir.
That's the piece. It's the missing piece. So all that to say, Full Stack Bassist opens next week for enrollment. I'd love for you to check it out. I'm really proud of it. Ian and I are in there making some noise. Cooking up some trouble, dude.
I am really proud of it too. I think if you check out the boot camp, come to that boot camp that's happening this week, and if you want to get on board and you feel like, you know what, I need to dedicate the next year of my life to really understanding how to look at this thing, how to play this thing, how to enjoy this in a musical context, how to support, but then have the platform to then be able to do anything. It's going to give you the platform to step off into freedom.
How to get your shit together.
Yeah. And who doesn't want that?
Yeah.
So please come hang with us at the boot camp. See if you dig the vibe. And then 7-day enrollment for Full Stack Bassist. It's a program that essentially Scott and I have been working on our whole lives. To be honest.
Actually, yeah.
Right? Like, I have built curriculum for a college, North Central University in Minnesota before. So I have been thinking about bass curriculum for decades. and Scott has too. And it came together in this program, and it's incredible. So come hang with us. It'll be a blast. You'll learn a lot about the bass.
It's a banger. Yeah. Anyway, with that said, we'll see you next time, guys. Thank you so much. It's been a blast today. Take it easy. Bye.
Take care, everybody.